Now to the spicy talk, I guess. Hot take time. I think Big Sean is top three. If we are to have that top three conversation of the 2010s, I think he's in there. I think he's been putting out better music than. You know what? You know, I was gonna be a big old p word and avoid saying who I think he's better than, but no, I'll say it. This album was fantastic. So and let's look back at all of the other top threes, quote unquote top three big albums. I think one, the rapping performances on here were fantastic. I don't know why I switched to Apple Music not too long ago, so some of these songs I don't have favorited, but I loved all these, especially Harder Than My Demons. I loved. I'd have to listen to this again and like all the songs again, but yeah, I like pretty much all these songs on here, except for like one. But I didn't even dislike that song. It was just not something that I would quote unquote favorite. But yeah, rapping performances on here were incredible, especially on Lucky Me. Snapped on here. A few songs snapped on here. He made some emotional songs. He made the hits. And that's the thing about Big Sean. I think he's probably the most talented songwriter of the 2010s as far as mainstream music goes. And the reason I say that is, and I say that confidently, by the way, he's not afraid to rap with legends. He raps with M and Royce pretty frequently. He was just on Toby, arguably had the best verse on there. I think I don't know. If he didn't have the best verse, it's very close. You know what I mean? So he's not afraid to rap with guys like this. People like to say he's afraid of Kendrick. No, he's not. He rapped with Kendrick 3 times, and I think he got him once. He got him on 100 for sure. I think it's arguable Unholy Key, and then Kendrick got him on the other one. So it's either tied or Sean's winning. So, but people just focus on Control from 10 plus years ago. I think if they all got on a track in 2024, things would be a little different. But regardless, that Detroit 2 album was incredible. And the reason I say he's the most talented songwriter out of any mainstream artist is because he's successful in any type of song that he puts his mind to making. If he wants to make an emotional song, he makes One Man Can Change the World. If he wants to make a banger, a hit of something that's on the radio all the time, he makes I Don't With You. If he wants to make some lyrical miracle stuff, he makes Lucky You. He makes Paradise. He can do everything. So that's what I mean when I say he's one of the best songwriters. Not he may not be making hits all the time, but that doesn't mean you're the best songwriter. You have to cover all your bases: the emotional songs, the lyrical songs, the all the different types of songs you can think of. You can make within hip hop or all the ranges of emotion, happy songs. He has anything he wants to do. He does it successfully. J. Cole's last album, The Fall Off, or not The Fall Off, Off Season. Great album too. That had a lot of replayability for me. I loved that album. I do think Detroit 2 is better though. What's Kendrick's Mr. Morale? I like that album. Didn't have as much it didn't have as much replayability as a Off Season or Detroit 2 for me, but it was still a great album. I really like that album. I love the concept that he was going for. I love the content of what he was saying. Sean had a lot of that same content. So you can't say he's out contenting Sean here. He's not. Sean's saying a lot of this content. He's talking about Unlucky You. He was talking about having a heart disease at 19 and losing a baby at certain points. You know what I mean? Like, he's talking about a lot of real stuff too. He didn't get out contented by Kendrick. Overall, as far as like listenability or just the quality of an album, I think Detroit 2 is better. These aren't like significant margins though, by the way. I'm not saying Kendrick's getting washed. I'm not saying Kendrick's trash. I'm not saying J. Cole is trash or anything like that. I don't want you thinking that. I'm a super fan. I've been a fan of Kendrick Lamar since I was in 2010. So I was 9 years old when I found Kendrick just randomly on YouTube. It was the you boo boo, you ting, you so I've been a fan longer than you. So shut up. So you can't, like, I'm at that point of fandom where like I can criticize any aspect of him. Like, you can't tell me I'm not a fan or whatever. Like, I've been a fan of Kendrick longer than I've been a fan of Big Sean, and I'm from Detroit. So that should tell you why am I typing in Kendrick again? And then Drake. I don't think Drake is a bad artist, but he's been in a slump musically for a while. So you cannot tell me that Detroit 2 isn't significantly better than this. That Detroit 2 isn't significantly better than most of this. And I don't say that as I just say that as like from a listening standpoint, a fan standpoint, just listening to these projects. You can't tell me that Detroit 2 isn't better than almost everything on here. That's number one. Okay, we can keep going. Let's keep going back. You don't have to stop at Detroit 2, right? Because you have to have, there has to be a significant enough time frame for it to just for you to, you can't just have one album better than an artist and say you're better than that artist, right? Like if I drop an album better than Kendrick Lamar's last album because he dropped a dud. Let's say he drops a dud and I drop an album better than that. That doesn't make me better than Kendrick Lamar. It just has to be a significant amount of time. Okay, this was like a little mixtape, so I don't really count that. I decided this was like a joint mixtape thing with Metro Boomin side project thing. It was like right after I decided. I really do not. If you want to consider it. I don't at all. I decided a fantastic concept album about it was like reincarnation, essentially. I loved all these songs. That beat on Note Favors is nuts. I love that beat. But it was about reincarnation and having the opportunity to redo life again. I love the concept. I love what he was saying on this album. I think this is for sure better than Cole's last album. Prior to that was, I'll just stay on Big Sean. Cole's last album prior to that was KOD. I think this is significantly better than KOD. I think it's significantly better than whatever Drake project was dropping. I know Scorpion dropped in 2018. Whatever Drake was dropping around that time, or even Drake's second to last album, significant. This is significantly better. I remember liking this significantly better. The only one that was close was Damn. Damn came out in 2017 as well. That one, I still have this. I think I have this edging it. Yeah, no, for sure. No, I definitely had this edging it. I like this album a lot more. But I really like Damn too. I think Damn has Feel. I think the second or third, I don't remember how many verses. It was the last verse on Feel is my favorite, one of my favorite verses of all time. It is in my top 5, not even favorite, best verses of all time is on Feel. I think as a whole though, this album I think is a little bit better. I think it edges it. Again, I'm not saying I don't think it's significantly better than Damn. I think it's significantly better than KOD for sure. But I didn't like KOD. Dark Sky Paradise. Okay, so it's their third. This is third to last album. Again, we're barring this one just because that was like a random little mixtape thing. Well, I don't think that's a full length album. It's the third to last album. Dark Sky Paradise. J. Cole's third to last album was For Your Eyes Only. I like For Your Eyes Only. It took me a while to like it. It grew on me. At first, I couldn't listen to it without falling asleep, and I'm dead serious. I'm not joking. I fell asleep multiple times listening to it. I could not get through that album, but eventually when I did get through it, I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. I like it, and I actually listen to it pretty regularly now. With that being said, this is significantly better than For Your Eyes Only. Drake, this is significantly better than than Drake's third to last album. Then you got the 2015 elephant in the room, which is To Pimp a Butterfly. Now, Kendrick, obviously, To Pimp a Butterfly is better than this album. But this album is still a great album. So with that being said, when you have 3 albums better than most of the top 3, the quote unquote top 3, the past 3 albums, 1, 2, 3, again, barring this, does that not make you top 3? Or I would put them, look, right now, me personally, I have them at number 1 as far as mainstream rappers. I'm okay with number 2 behind Kendrick. Because one, Kendrick just came off the back of the whole Drake battle, which I think, he came out with the hit, obviously. it came out of that battle with the hit, Mr. Morale. I liked Mr. Morale. I don't think it's better than Detroit 2, but I like Mr. Morale. So it's like he's been doing good. It's not like he's been slacking. You know, he's having great performances and stuff like that. He's been culturally relevant. So I'm fine with him being number one, absolutely. But as far as being, I think he's in that top three. Or if you don't want to put him in that top three, I don't understand not putting him above Drake. I don't understand. I understand sales and stuff like that. But if we're talking sales, why isn't Travis Scott in the top three? Because Travis Scott is outselling all of them. So clearly rapping ability and musical ability is playing a factor here. And people think, I'm assuming that Drake makes better music than Travis Scott. I'm not going to say I disagree or agree because that's not the conversation. But so if sales or Eminem, well, I guess he isn't a 2010s artist, so let's ignore that. But so it's not just sales. So if it's not just sales and we're talking quality too, Big Sean's quality is up there. So we got to put him in that quote unquote top three. It's just being gatekeeped. I remember watching a No Life Shack interview, or not interview, reaction where he was reacting to something with Big Sean. He started ranting about people gatekeeping the top three. And I never thought about it like that. But yeah, these fan bases, because they have such strong fan bases, Cole, Drake, and Kendrick, they're just gatekeeping that top three. They won't let anybody into it. Even within each other, they're just so they're so hard-headed. They're so stingy. It's childish. They refuse to admit that their guy isn't top three artist, or just casual fans are not open-minded enough. You know, they just want to believe. Let me think. They're not open-minded. They're not open-minded. They really only know because they don't listen to a lot of artists. You know, that's number one. So they don't have a wide range of scale of what's good and what isn't. I'm talking about just casual hip hop fans. They have no idea. But then also when it comes to these artists, they since they were a kid, these are the top three and they just won't let go of it. So it's kind of an unfortunate situation. Also, it's these preconceived notion that Big Sean is corny, or just they go back to the Control verse. It's corny. It's corny. Control is 2013. It's super corny. Like, dog, you know how many I just talked about the Kendrick about you boo boo, you see that was garbage. You don't see me bringing that up every time I get into a debate about Kendrick or something like that. Or you remember that one song from 10 years ago? Like, it's corny. Yeah, I don't care if Eminem got Kendrick on what was it? It was 2013. March Mathers LP2. You don't see people bringing that up on Love Game. It's stupid. It is. And then, so there's that Kendrick stigma. I think what Sean needs to do is he needs to come out with a song that's really addressing that. And he doesn't even necessarily have to diss these people. Just establish, like, I am top three. My body of work shows that I'm that skilled. I'm that good. Y'all ain't paying attention. Put like a single type thing, or maybe the intro to the album, whatever it is. Because people their perceptions won't change unless you beat them over the head with it. They're that stingy and stupid. They won't, you have to change it for them. They won't change their opinions. That's why we've been stuck on the same top three for God knows how long. And one doesn't drop music frequently. The other one hasn't dropped a great album in a while. You know, like they're just stuck, and it's there's no criteria. If we're gonna talk about this top three, there has to be a criteria. Is it great music or is it sales? Is it both? Because some of these artists don't have both in the top three. Some of these artists have great sales and don't have great music. Some of these artists have great music, don't have the best sales. Again, why isn't Travis Scott in the? Because if your reason behind Big Sean not being in the top three is, oh, he doesn't sell as much as the other three, that's fair. Okay, Travis Scott should be replacing some of those guys in the top three. Eminem should be replacing some of those guys in the top three. So it's not just sales or quality or whatever the case is. It's stingy fan bases that don't know what they want and just want to gatekeep that top three. I hope any of that made sense. And it's just frustrating because you want to see somebody get their just due. This isn't a favoritism thing. Like I said, I've been a fan of Kendrick 5 years prior to when I became a fan of Big Sean when I heard Paradise. It's not loading. When I heard Paradise, I became a fan of Big Sean. So I was a fan of Kendrick Lamar 5 years prior to that. This isn't a favoritism thing. This isn't some Detroit thing. This is, I just want to see somebody who's earned their just. I just said I'd be cool with Kendrick being or Sean being number 2. That's fine. But I want to see somebody get their just due when they've been putting out crazy bodies of work. Even this was great. This was fantastic. You know what I mean? Like, he has classic mixtape, arguably a classic album for sure. So he has arguably 3 classics under his belt, and people are playing with his name like he's not who he is. And it's a little frustrating. This is a hit. You know, the hit. You know what I mean? Like, this is, what are we even talking about? Let's hit. I don't recognize the name of that song. I've probably heard it a million times. It's probably been on the radio, but I don't know. But like, bro, how many hits do you need before you get the respect you deserve? And I think he does have a lot of toxic haters online that come from Kanye's fan base, especially recently after that Drink Champs thing. A bunch of 12-year-olds that don't have a life, hacking stuff, you know, idiots. Palisades killed Everest. And then if we're talking lyrically, people were talking about Big Sean as a lyricist. He's been going crazy. Detroit 2 was going crazy lyrically. On all these, on all of them. All the singles, all the features went crazy. Oh, the What You Expect EP, fire, whole thing, what a life. Even on the songs where he's shooting to make a hit, where he's trying to make a radio single or is making a radio single, he's snapping on. The past few years, since 2020, you know what I mean? He's been going crazy lyrically. He's really stepped his game up lyrically. Holy Key with Kendrick Lamar. I think that song's more of a preference thing. I do like Sean's verse better. I think Kendrick was saying a lot, but wasn't saying a lot on that. I think he was using the long way to get to a simple point at times, or was just saying nothing at certain times. And I have specific examples if you want to argue about that. But I think I do like Sean's verse better. I think that one's almost a tie. Like I said that earlier. Yeah, I won't make this any longer, but that was my little rant. Big Sean's top 3. Mainstream hip hop, top 1. If you ask me, top 1. And I think this album, and the thing with Big Sean is, like, every time he drops a freestyle, every time he drops anything, everybody's like, this is dope. They got the crunch faces. They got the, oh my God, this is fire faces. They got oh my God, he's so underrated. And this is what No Life Shaq was talking about when I was watching his review. Every single time. And then a month later, y'all forget it. A month later, y'all say, oh, he's trash. Oh, he's corny. He's this. Y'all just forget. He said this on a freestyle not too long ago. I've always been thinking this though. Every single time. I'm subscribed to my personal thing, so don't think I'm not subscribed. This is the Blank Dice website, or not website, a page. It's exhausting. I can imagine it's so exhausting for him. It's like, what do you have to do? And I feel like there might be, and like I said, you have to change that perception. You have to drop a song saying the stuff. You have to really change the perception yourself, because these idiots, it won't change for them. That's why Lil Wayne was constantly saying, I'm the best rapper alive. I'm the best rapper alive. I'm the best rapper alive, until people believed it. I don't think it was true when he was saying it in the 2000s. I think now it's arguably true, because he's really, lyrically, he's jumped out exponentially. Lyrically, he's insane right now. In the 2000s, I don't think he was, a lot of the feature verses weren't great. I mean, weren't people, think about that feature run. They missed some, there's some bad features. But either way, like, you have to, this is just a life thing. Like, you have to, sometimes you just got to tell people how good you are. Sometimes you got to let people know. You got to remind people, not just with proving yourself, because you can prove yourself all day, but sometimes you got to tell people, hey, I deserve to be here. I'm this good. I am this. Until they believe you, just got to beat them over the head with it. Or jump out the window and start dissing people. I mean, it will be fun. Kind of fire. But, I mean, I wouldn't start something like that. Get them on a track. Out rap them. You know what I mean? Prove it. All 4 of them. I think that would be, if you want to do like a 2010s forever type thing, I think that's the way to do it. You get Kendrick, Sean, Cole, Drake, and then you get a younger guy on there like they did with Forever, like passing the torch. Drake was the younger guy at the time, obviously. You get a younger guy on there, and Sean, smoke him. You know, do what you got to do. So yeah, that's it. I've been recording for 34 minutes, so I'm gonna turn this off. But yeah, I think I'm going to listen to the Logic single next that just came out, and then probably the Childish Gambino album. I'll see what else dropped. But yeah, that's it. That's it for me. That was the end of my rant.